Hey guys, Coolkermit 5 here, and I am back again with a new anime review. Now, I know it's been like 2 months, I think, or a month since I last did my anime review, but I'm gonna make up for that with this new one. And this one is from Pokemon, and I'm gonna be reviewing the Pokemon film from last year, and that is Volcanion and the Mechanized Marvel. This film is actually really fun to watch, and people should take a look at. But before we get to the story, we should discuss the two new Pokemon that were introduced in the film. The first one being Volcanion, who is a new legendary type Pokemon. And basically, he's actually pretty cool. I mean, basically he's like a new four-walking Pokemon. But basically, he's a steam type Pokemon who lives in the place called the Noble Plateau, along with other lost Pokemon who were lost from humans. And basically, he can control steam from the cannons that he has that are attached to his shoulder, to his back, and he uses them as jets, like a jetpack, or he can use water. He can use them as water cannons, and he also runs out of them. The other Pokemon is Magearna, who's created 500 years ago. That's a lot. That's a big number for what Pokemon are created these days. Like Mewtwo, Genesect, and should I even count Groudon in the other Pokemon film? But we'll get to that sometime. Magearna is an artificial type Pokemon who was created by the scientist. But we'll get to them in a minute. Basically, she fled her powers to prevent a nuisance to her powers that some people find was a nuisance. But that's all. But you can get them in the Pokemon games like Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and even Sun and Moon. But we'll talk about those games. We'll talk about that sometime later on in the future. But the story follows Ash continuing his journey to become a Pokemon master. And it actually is pretty interesting because he's still been doing this for the past 10 years, I believe, or 20. It's really hard. It's really hard to keep track. But he ran into Volcanion, who's trying to save Magearna from the villain. We'll get to the villain sometime later on. But the character's actually pretty cool. Like Prince Raleigh. Yeah, Prince Raleigh. He's actually quite a sweet kid who's actually a pretty good friend of Magearna, and he's also quite a nice kid for royalty, that is. And oh, I forgot to mention about the Ozoff Kingdom, which is a city that used mechanized cogs, and basically it continues to keep going with all the machinery that wasn't around until our time. And actually, it's pretty awesome too. But there's also the Princess Kimia, who is a lovely princess, mind you, and she's been friends with Magearna ever since childhood. And she's really skilled in the variety of machinery and technology. Like if you're a scientist or a techno wizard or something like that, which I am, she can help you out with some machinery. And she has an alternative colored Gravier who can also Mega Evolve with the Mega Stone. Pretty interesting. And the scientist, which I mentioned, named Nikolai, actually created Magearna 500 years ago. And he's an ancestor of Kimia and Regalia. And Sorry, I got mixed up in the names again. But he made his technology to create peace and harmony into his kingdom. But the villain, Alva, is actually using technology to destroy. And basically, he's the one who's captured Magearna because he wants the Soul Heart. And the Soul Heart is something that he does not want to get. The Soul Heart is attached to Magearna, and if he gets it, he's going to use it to destroy everything. Sheesh. Why does evil rulers always want to destroy everything? Kind of makes sense to someone, doesn't it? I don't know. But his henchmen named Sherry and Levi. If you're thinking about Attack on Titan, wrong answer. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that sometime in the future. Basically, I like the yellow Pokemon are actually quite cool and actually are awesome. But the villains can also use the thing Mega Wave, which increases the Mega Evolution and can cause multiple Pokemon to Mega Evolve. Like 3 Pokemon to evolve into Mega forms, but that's impossible. But that could be a thing in the future. I really don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much about it for this review. I mean, you should definitely get this film. This film is awesome. And I also forgot to mention, for my next video game review, I'm going to let you guys vote in the comments of 2 games that I have here to review. And one of the games I have here is Pokemon Emerald version for the Game Boy Advance. Really good game. And the other one here I have here is Pokemon Platinum version for DS. Now you can actually vote which game for me to review in the comments below, and see which of these 2 games are gonna get the most votes. So until then, this is Coolkermit signing out, and for all the Pokemon trainers out there looking forward for new games, keep on training.